Fucking loud ass motorcycles. I don't want to hear you goddamn motorcycle. Fuck you. So I'm about to go on a cross-country trip, halfway cross-country to Oklahoma. Motorcycle rally. I've been to this one before. Maybe it's going to be double the size. The second rally on the western side of Oklahoma. But it's not going to be a long trip, but I kind of want to get my gear figured out because I'm thinking about going down to Mexico this winter. And I want to shuffle my gear around and find out what I've got actually have to have. The first thing I've got to make a decision on, temperatures are going to be 40 degrees to 60 degrees this weekend, so I've got to figure out whether I go with the standard 30-degree bag that I've been using forever, or this fancy Big Agnes 0-degree bag. It's a mummy bag. I hate mummy bags, but I've got to make a decision. Well, I don't have to make a decision. I can take this and take the tent in addition, so I can have some options. And that's fucking loud ass motorcycles. I don't want to hear you goddamn motorcycle. Fuck you. So, yeah, options. I am not taking both bags. This is just way too much bulk. But I could take one or the other. I could take my 30-degree bag and a tent, which would leave me some options. I can go to the ground. I'm much more comfortable with temperatures on the ground just because I haven't been doing any. I've been doing very little low temperature camping in my hammock. I think the lowest I've been is about 30 degrees. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just wing it and take the 30-degree bag this time. This is a really nice bag. I just hate mummy bags. I hate having my feet trapped. And I've got a lot of unknowns putting this in a hammock. So yeah, I may just go with the 30-degree this trip. But I've got to figure out some other stuff. But I was thinking I'm going to be hanging out with a bunch of minimalist campers this week. And I'm thinking about starting maybe a series on camping and gear and things. Maybe some interviews with these guys I'm going to be hanging out with. Let me know if that's interest you. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in watching. I would definitely love to pursue that myself. I'm always talking to these folks about camping and gear and optimal stuff. Most of the discussion is online. I talk to a lot of people on ADV Rider. Those are the people I tend to most identify with because they, if you're riding on the street all the time, which I'm doing much more lately, but if you're riding on the street all the time, you don't have the same challenges that I have going off into the woods. I mean, if you're a hotel kind of guy, if you ride across country all the time and you're sleeping in the hotels all the time, we don't have a whole lot in common. And for me to ask you a lot of questions about what hotels to choose, that's not the kind of participation that I'm interested in. But anyway, I've got to sort out my gear, and I thought maybe I'd make some kind of an introduction on some of the challenges that I'm facing selecting gear. Once again, I think I've made at least one of these videos before, but I've got a few new additions to the kit, which is, as you can see, it's quite extensive. But I think one of the first things I'm going to do is probably eliminate this big fuel bottle. I love it. It gives me a lot of options. I can use the firebox without burning wood, which is why I love the firebox to start with. It's relatively easy to start a fire, and I have as much fuel. I could live out in the woods as long as I've got food, you know. So I love the firebox for that. But if I can't burn wood, I can go to fuel. And this little thing, pouring some alcohol in this alcohol stove and putting that in the firebox, gives me the same opportunity there. But I think this is the first on the chopping block, and then probably my 0 degree bag, because it's not going to be that extreme this weekend. And then I've got to figure out, I've got a canister of fuel. This is almost empty, but I think I'm going to take this as my backup rather than this big thing. So I always keep a backup stove in here, and these two together would probably solve a lot of my problems. But yeah, this is quick and easy for a quick cup of coffee in the morning. That might be what I do. Just set that up. But the firebox is going because I miss it. I haven't camped. That's another big thing why I'm doing this. I haven't camped, real camping, what I would call adventure camping. I haven't camped in over a year. So I've got to get my kit straightened out. And that's what I'm going to attempt to do that today, along with a lot of other things. I think I'm leaving maybe Thursday morning. So that's the big challenge today, is see if I can get this all straightened out and figured out, and we'll go from there. So I've made that decision that this thing is staying. And this thing is going. Kitchen kit. All right, so this is staying. This is staying. Coffee, boiling water, coffee cooking kit, firebox, tea. Yes, tea and sweetener, of course. Sewing kit, spoon, drinking kit that ooh, that's disgusting. I need to wash that out. Camp fuel, too big of a can. Axe. I've kind of gotten to the point now where I think this is always going with me. And it's a hard choice because I've got this pretty cool saw that's much lighter, much smaller. But, you know, I'm not going to be spending a whole lot of time out in the woods creating stuff. So this is kind of overkill. This is kind of nice to have. But, man, you talk about quick and efficient. Pop, pop, pop. This thing's done. Whole lot less energy, too, to take down some branches. You know, if I want to create some nice little chair, some chair out of wood, this is a good option. But this is staying. Cooking pots and pans and cooking stuff. This is a cheap little rig that I got in Colorado after my stuff started falling apart. I really dig this stuff. It was cheap. Looks like maybe Walmart, and it was got it at a country store, which was really amazing. Always knife, coffee, this stuff staying. I'm still doing kitchen. I think I'm going to take this just for giggles. Little first aid, because when you're cooking stuff, you're burning yourself, and you know, cutting. First aid, that's a good place to put it. Water filter, Katahdin. Shoestrings, nice. Emergency utensils, something to wash up with. Fire starter. And I still got my cutting board that I'm cleaning up. That'll be here any minute now. So let's go ahead and finish that up and put all that in my kitchen bag. Alright, so the only other things I've got is just my little collapsible silicone cup that's probably going to fail anytime now. Did I even get that thing clean? Yeah, so I don't use this much, just in a pinch if I don't have anything. And you can see the collapse. The collapse is going to open this cup up eventually. It's going to collapse and break eventually. Dang. This is an emergency cup now. My little spatula It's good for eggs and such, stirring, because it's got a flat bottom and it's small. I need to put it back in this kit here. Maybe put this guy in there. Let me put this guy in there. And then, yeah, got some room. Emergency. Alright, now start loading this thing up. I had to wash this bag out. I don't think I've washed it out. Golly, I've had this bag forever. Can't get rid of stuff that keeps on working, so just one of those things. Washed my firebox pouch out because it was disgusting. Let me just test that out here for giggles. Sewing kit. Actually, I may keep that separate. Cook kit, mess kit. This thing's getting pretty heavy. So I think this actually goes in one of my side cases pretty well. So this goes on top of my electronics. And my electronics, most of them are going to go here. So I got that. Well, that's the empty one. No, that's the full one. Let's make sure that gets in there. Might actually need some fuel. That's why it's important to sort this stuff out before you get on the road. Once you get on the road, it's not that big of a deal, because if you take it out, it's on the ground somewhere around you. It all goes back in there. But if you get to where you're going, you know, you're a few hundred miles from home, and you go, oh crap, I forgot my stuff. Then all of a sudden, you know, you can't go back 500 miles, 600 miles, which is probably where I'm going to be when I figure out what I've left. But if you get it all sorted out here before you start packing it up, it's all out on the ground. The only way you're going to lose it once you're at camp is if you misplace it, if it gets buried under some leaves. So you got to be careful about that too. Let's see what I've got in here left over from my big trip last summer, besides a bunch of roach sprouts. That's my solar panels, my extension cord, and I got to get my battery pack and all that stuff in here too. I'm taking this not necessarily because I need it, but I need to get my gear sorted out once again. So let's go ahead and do that while I'm thinking about it. All right, sleep systems, and I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because the sun is moving, and I've got to make some funny videos while the sun is in the right position, because I'm about to do some green screen stuff. And by funny videos, I mean ball bearing Betty level. Most of the time I don't put a lot of effort into my funny stuff, but I'm actually putting some real effort into this one, so hopefully you'll see that coming out soon. But back to sleep systems, camp systems. This is the stuff that I took to Hawaii with me. This, a sleeping bag, and my underquilt. This is my hammock setup. Sleeping bag, underquilt. The sleeping bag will go into this compression sack with my underquilt, and that's over there getting some sun. But this is the clothing that is going with me, along with a ground pad that will go with my alternate sleep system, my two-man tent over there. But dry bags, very important. But that's what I want to talk about now. Oh yeah, this little pillow I picked up at Walmart the other day because it's better than the one I've got, which the two I've got have holes in them. Dry bags, very important. But I want to talk about my my thermals. Pretty important if you want to sleep well at night. Get something on your skin that passes moisture away from your skin. This is golly, this is Patagonia stuff from, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago. I've had this forever. It's still working great. No need to replace it. Haven't even put any holes in it. You can see it's well worn. But this always goes with me anytime I'm doing anything that's going to be close to the freezing mark, and that's going to be this weekend. 40-degree weather, that's pretty close. I'm going to be nice and comfy with these synthetic thermals. It gets the moisture off my skin. I'm going to do some wool socks and some thick socks, and I include this in my camp system because I think this is very important. I'm going to put some extra clothes in here, undies, socks. It's good to have a change of clothes, especially when you're in wet weather. But that's going to be close to my camp system for now. Only thing I've got to add beyond this is my sleeping bag, which is over there airing out for the first time in months and years. So all this is going, and it will be going in a bag soon. Well, looky here, you made it almost all the way to the end. I'm very proud of you. I am heading out in the morning back to Chuck Cycles in Oklahoma, place where I went same time last year. This is the Vagabond rally, and I got some cool people going to show up in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, and I'm going to hang out with them, maybe drink a few beers, have a few laughs, and talk about living on a motorcycle, which is a lot of these people that are going to be showing up there, or that's exactly what they do. So hope to see you in the next video next time, and if you're new to the channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing. See you then.